The holidays are upon us. My studio is already broken down, so our guests for Thanksgiving have some place to sleep, and I am in the process of recovering from PAX Unplugged because I did a lot of walking on Saturday. It's a good thing, though, that the coffee is flowing. These are some random TTRPG thoughts. Let's roll it. Mornings. I'm a bit of a Grinch when it comes to the holidays, and it's not because I don't like happiness. If people get that confused sometimes. It's because my happy place is quiet, and it's very easy for me to become overstimulated, which can make it seem like I'm grumpy when I'm really trying to avoid having an emotional breakdown. What's worse is that the holidays pack my schedule with a mass of things that I tend not to enjoy, and by which I am also overwhelmed, which makes it even more difficult for me to do the social activity which I do enjoy. Um, to put it in game speak, the TTRPG schedule monster gains a new attack against introverts during the holidays, and I don't like it. I had a wonderful day at PAX Unplugged this year, but I was really sad that I could only get there for one day just because scheduling was a mess. I was really upset because I couldn't catch up with some of the people that I really wanted to see. And then there were folks that I had never met in person that were there that I really wanted to meet up with, but we just couldn't get the schedules to align. And Mage's Musing, I wanted to have a photo op with the puppets so bad, and I am very, very sorry that it didn't happen. We're going to try this again, though, right? There is an old cliche. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And the reason this is a cliche is because it's kind of true. Now, that's not to say that what you know isn't important, because it is, and the manner in which you communicate what you know is every bit as important as the information you know itself. But who you know opens doors which might otherwise be shut. And I say this for two reasons. First, I want to shout out Doug Shute once again on the channel for all the kindness he's shown to me in making sure I network with people he thinks will click with me. He has not been wrong, and I will always be grateful. I'm the type of person who believes that he's a bother to anyone with whom he talks, and that doubt is always kind of there no matter where I am, but I've not had that sense with Doug, ever. And when he says to me, and he has said this to me, "I'm glad you're my friend," I actually believe him, and that is not a small thing for me. Thank you so much, Doug. And then second, if you have had someone like Doug open doors for you, open doors for others. See, I'm nowhere near as connected as Doug is, but every introduction I've been given, I have done my best to pass on to others. That's one way we can help folks grow, and I find that amazing. Speaking of connections, Erica Lowe of Broken Brain Games and author of Ragnarborg is an absolute gem of a human being and a trip to be around. Do yourself a favor, go check out Ragnarborg for yourself, and remember, yay violence! Erica, I need to get you on the channel for a live interview or an actual play at some point, or why not both? We live in the stupidest timeline. The indictments against James Comey and Letitia James got tossed because a judge declared that Lindsay Halligan was unlawfully appointed. And I am sure there are folks out there who are pointing out that the dismissal was not based on the merits of the case, just from a procedural error. But there were a slew of motions about tossing out this indict first, investigate later prosecution, because it's vindictive. Some Democratic lawmakers reminded our armed forces that they are duty-bound to not follow illegal orders, and the MAGAverse freaked right out, even though they were reminding the armed forces of something that's actually in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Trump, in response, called for the death penalty on those who made the video, calling it treason. In the old days, we used to shoot them. And even though the freakout was over a nothing burger, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has decided that he can reinstate Senator Mark Kelly to active duty to investigate him for, I don't even know what. The video was pointing out the threat of a tyrant giving illegal orders, and the regime's response was, "Well, I'll show you tyranny." None of this is normal, and the irony of it all is just too much for even me to handle. I hung out with Grimwood Games' Dave Ward for most of the day on Saturday, which was awesome. Dave is an amazing friend, and I've never had a bad time with him. Go check out his games. I also got to enjoy lunch with Jorben, the elder goblin himself, and I consider myself lucky to consider him a friend. I also got to give a shout out to the folks at AARPG. We need to connect more, folks. Dave from Gamers on Games, who is a ball of amazing energy all throughout the event that admittedly gets me tired, but he is fun. The illustrious Zeal Zaddy, who is planning a TTRPG game show, which I want to spotlight at some point. Phil from the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, and everyone should go to Page because it's amazing. And the new friends I made while I was at PAX Unplugged, who will be on the channel soon, thanks to Doug Shute, with whom I had lunch. And I even got to ask Mr. Dragonbane, where you at? And he didn't even yell at me for interrupting his game, so thanks there, Jonathan. Folks, you are all what makes PAX Unplugged special. Being there with you is why these are some of my favorite work days, because this is a working event for me of the entire year. I know I missed some people in recounting that list, and that I just didn't bump into folks that I wanted to bump into, but you're all amazing, and thank you so much. The Godzilla TTRPG has my brain churning. I really like the system as it exists right now. See, the game uses a card deck instead of dice. So what I'd like to see done is to see the deck, minus the discards, shuffled after each round, because that'll increase the randomization while maintaining the memory of the played cards. You can kind of see what's already been used. My advice is, if you get a chance to play it during the testing phase or even after, hide your sheet when you describe your character's actions. Don't be looking at it, because the game leans hard into the player's narration to make it breathe. So hiding that sheet will counter the temptation to dither over the best options available. And then once your action is narrated, you can pull out the sheet and then see what fits. It's how the game is meant to be played, and I gotta tell you, for me, that's what made it fun. I am itching to run something, and it's not just the dry skin because it's now getting to be December. I just haven't run a game in a while, and I want to do that. So I may just call a random streamlined superheroes game together at some point in the near future, so I stop twitching. No, I don't have a problem. Why do you ask? I have to give a shout out of thanks to subscriber Gilgamesh of Utah, because thanks to them, I've got the Electric State working on Foundry VTT once more. Now I got to get some folks together for a journey of purpose through a decaying society. If only I had some sort of material to reference as I put it together. Not sure where I'd find any, though. It's not like anything around me is spiraling into irrationality, right? Right? One of the coolest things I've seen during my Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition read-through is how the book presents its gameplay examples using actual Star Trek episodes. That's how well the mechanics of the system match the tone of the show and the films. It took me a bit to catch on that that's what was going on, but once I did, just utterly blown away. Folks, if you enjoyed this video, please consider doing the like, comment, share, and subscribe routine, because it drags me out of the YouTube algorithm's abyss and gets the channel out there in front of people's eyes where they can do more like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. It's always nice to know that people are actually watching. And I want to give a special shout out to my coffee contributors who support this channel out of the kindness of their own hearts. If you would like to help keep DM Tales caffeinated, the link, that's right over there. And if you're looking for some Christmas gifts to go, I've got some cool t-shirts at my merch store, including this one that announces to the world that you like the D12 before a certain very popular game made it popular. Yeah, I mentioned Star Trek Adventures, and yes, the review is coming. I've just got a ton of PAX Unplugged footage to get through right now, and I've got interviews I need to set up, and Daggerheart is right there that's waiting for me, so I want to get through the Star Trek thing really, really fast. You have to believe me. I know nobody's even asking that, but it felt good for the video. Folks, I can't wait to bring all of this to you, and until we see each other again, happy playing, everyone.